Here are the 5 big mistakes people need to avoid when buying a home. Hi, I'm Josh Keller, a realtor in Kyle, Texas. Today we're going to talk about 5 mistakes that people often don't think about, but if you can avoid them, it'll save you thousands and thousands of dollars. So a little context for these 5 big mistakes. Everything we talk about is going to be either a very broad view or very narrow view. When I say broad, I mean maybe even the national or world market. And if I say narrow view, it might even be your neighborhood or the individual house details. So keep that in mind as I reference big picture, small picture. So what's the number 1 mistake? It's not getting a rock solid lender who will keep in good communication with you and your realtor. So the loan and the details of the loan are huge, almost as big of a deal as the house itself, because this loan is going to impact your finances or maybe even the rest of your life. So your realtor needs to look at the terms of the loan to make sure you're getting the best possible rates and look for any hidden fees. The realtor also needs to know your individual story and the type of land and home you're looking for. There's lots of advantages to the USDA loans and the FHA loans, and knowing your details and what you want and what you might qualify for could save you lots of money or affect the negotiation. And gathering as much information from the seller side if you're buying to know the seller and what they're dealing with could also help in your negotiation as well. The second mistake you need to avoid is not understanding market conditions. You and your realtor need to understand what's going on in a broad view and a narrow view. It's very important to know if it's a buyer's or a seller's market so you know who has the advantage. If you don't know who has the advantage, you're likely to be taken advantage of. It's also important to know what's been going on in that narrow market. What's been going on in a specific neighborhood, what's the details of that house and that property, and your realtor can run a comparative market analysis for your individual property. When negotiating a home price, whichever side has a better understanding of the broad market analysis and a narrow market analysis really has the advantage. Third big mistake is not getting the right advice when getting your house inspected. First, your realtor should have a list of trusted inspectors. It helps to rely on your realtor at this point because every house is different, and someone who's looking at houses all the time and knows what problems might occur with a certain type of flooring or siding, depending on the year it was built, can save you a lot of headaches and a lot of money down the road. Fourth mistake is not seeing some red flags. The problem is these red flags aren't always obvious. This is why it's good when you get that inspection report back to lean on your realtor to be able to go through that inspection report and tell you what's really worth negotiating and what might not be as important. Sometimes there's little things that you think aren't very important, but someone who's been through it and seen this happen over and over might be able to tell you this is worth negotiating, this is worth getting fixed before you move on with the transaction. It's like if you have a shoulder injury, you want to go to a shoulder expert, a doctor that sees the ins and outs of shoulder injuries every day, so that way they'll be able to see if something minor might become something major. You also want details on the resale value of your house. This is where having a realtor who's hyper local comes in handy. Someone who knows the town and what's being developed, which could have a huge impact on the value of your home in 5, 10, 15 years, could really have a big impact on your decision. Someone who knows that the sewage treatment plant might be expanding and in 5 years your house might have a different smell in the air, that could have a big impact on your house and your finances. So again, having a hyper-local realtor can be very advantageous for you. Fifth mistake is not negotiating the contract details. What I mean is, while you're negotiating back and forth, it's so much more than price. The reason it's more than price is it's a house you're gonna live in. A realtor needs to learn your story and what really matters to you. And what we found out is as someone is searching for a house, they're actually figuring out what's most important. They might prioritize a fireplace, but then when they see how much the fireplace might actually cost them, they learn it's not as high up their priority list as they thought. So everyone has different priorities and different stories, and being able to work with a realtor that understands your story and what you want, and then can take that into the negotiating table and get what you want for the best price and to fit your story and your family and what you want. This is something that takes a lot of communication and a lot of understanding, and it's very important to help you feel like you have a win after everything is said and done. So if you can avoid those 5 mistakes, you're off to a really good start, and I think you'll probably be pretty happy with your home purchase. But that's just a really broad overview though. You want to make sure you work with a realtor who's going to be in constant communication not only with you, but with appraisers, with inspectors, with the title company, and all that negotiation can really give you a positive home buying process. And it's a really good chance you'll feel good about not only the financial situation you're in, but be super happy with your story and your home that fits that story. If you found this video helpful, please like it. Please subscribe to the Connecting Kyle YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.